Ocean to Ocean is your late-night portal into the unknown. Hosted by Hollis and Dan Smeriglio as a tribute to the legendary spirit of late-night radio, where curiosity leads and nothing is ever off the table. From sea to shining sea, we explore late-night mysteries that keep you questioning everything. Bigfoot lurking in the shadows, secrets hidden beneath Antarctica's ice, UFOs, government cover-ups, and truths long buried, psychics, angel readings, and messages from beyond.
But this isn't just a throwback, it's our twist. Real talk, raw curiosity, a little humor, and a fearless dive into the topics most people won't touch. Some nights will make you think, some nights might give you chills, and some might just change the way you see the world. So tune in, stay curious, and keep your mind open, because from ocean to ocean, the conversation never sleeps. Found exclusively on the Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network. Coffee, gold, silver, supplements? Oh yeah. Nothing says fighting tyranny and the globalist like a 10% off promo code. Meanwhile, your favorite influencers are busy jet-setting to galas and balls for 20G a pop, selling you miracle powders and apocalyptic backpacks. While we're over here in the trenches, armed with nothing but a mic, a busted laptop, and a Wi-Fi connection that's one angry squirrel away from collapse. Look, selling truth doesn't come with a brand deal or a yacht party invite. It comes with demonetization, shadow bans, and wondering if PayPal's about to accidentally freeze our account. No corporate sponsors, no billionaire backers, or checks from George Soros. Just unfiltered truth. So if you want to help us keep doing what they wish we'd stop doing, throw a few bucks in the tip jar. Because while they're busy selling you miracle water bottles that promise to make you enlightened, we're over here lifting the heavy weight of reality. So smash that donate button. Let's show the world truth doesn't need a filter or a fake tan. It just needs people who are fed up with the BS. Oh, and don't forget, use our promo code TRUTH for 10% off our upcoming End of the World Spandex Thong. Coming soon, because why not save the world with style, right?
Rage of Aquarius with your hosts Dan Smeriglio and Josh Bernstein every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network. Download our apps on Android and Apple to never miss a show. Watch at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Roku TV, Fire TV, and Android TV, or visit VOPUSARadio.com.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, remember promo code TRUTH. Anyway, it is that time of the night for Politichok's Hour of Rage. So when I pull the veil back, the one of the only Josh Bernstein will be behind it, waiting to speak at you, waiting to tell you the wonderful adventures of he, the band on X, and now reinstated on X, Mr. Josh Bernstein. So with that, I'm going to shut up and say, welcome to the show. That's there. He had the point going. He was ready. What's up, dude?
Dude, before we get into all that, I have to say you are a phenomenal voiceover guy. You really are. I've heard a lot of them. I've done it myself. I've done it for other people. You have a good talent at it. I mean, just flawless. Did they take like barely any takes too, I bet?
Pretty much, yeah. The hardest part.
They used to call me One Take Josh, and I think you're One Take Dan. Seriously, very, very good stuff. So,
thank you, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. You know, I've been kind of riding my little high since you made me do the show the other night, and which I'm happy that you did. So
I know I had to kind of coax that one out of you. I was like, "Come on, man, let's do it." It's been a while. My people are freaking out. Where's that show? What's going on?
Look at that.
So I'm glad that you did it. They love you. They love the show. Trust me, they do.
And I appreciate your audience very much so, and the people who look forward to us doing what we do. And it was a great show, even though we went over.
We went over all right. I think I cut the first segment at 40 minutes and the other two at 20 each. So yeah, that was a long one, but it was a good one.
We're making up to your audience for the lack of content. All right. So
Yeah, exactly.
I re-aired it last night at 9 p.m. and actually I think it got more views in the re-air than it did on the live.
There you go. Good.
But that's okay.
Good deal.
But no, I'm good. How's your wife doing? Good?
She went to the doctor today, and they checked her out and all that. Everything looked good. She's gonna go, I think, for one more test just to make sure everything else is fine. But yeah, she seems to be doing pretty good. They put her on valerian root, which is like, I guess, something that helps you sleep and stuff like that. But she hasn't had any issues or problems and stuff like that. So thank you for asking.
No, thank
Fingers
God.
crossed. Hopefully everything's good to go. So
Yes, lots of prayers. So happy to
Thank
hear
you.
that. Thank you, brother. So
you.
other than that, man, I mean, I started off the show kind of with a preamble, if you will, telling people that, I hate this crap and talking about the politics and talking about everything else. But that's, of course, why we do it, because there's a reason behind it. And I kind of went on a little bit of a tirade for a while because it was necessary. Then I threw in some profanities because, you got to do things to catch people's attention. But, realistically, you're trying to deliver a message and kind of point out the obvious truths that, you got to grab their, oh, my God, I can't believe you said that. Oh, what was that? It's like I get one of those people, just one of those people. It's like, all right, now I got you, I have to dumb myself down almost to just be, now I'm being honest, I'm being reactionary. So it's okay. But you have to play the game. But realistically, I'm talking about, because July 3rd is 20 years. It's my 20-year anniversary of doing this stuff. Yeah, I know. So
congrats. Mazel tov, as the Jews would say, right?
Thank you. 25% of me is very happy right now. But I appreciate it. I said for a while I was going to do like a big 20-year celebration, and I'm not going to do it this coming week, obviously, because that would just be, there's other things going on that are a tad bit bigger. But this month I am going to do a week-long celebration because not for the audience that just is worthless and shows up and doesn't do anything. For the good ones, for the ones who do care, and quite honestly, just because I freaking can, and I think it's earned and deserved,
Yeah.
So,
like I always say, we are nothing without an audience, right?
Yeah,
and
for better or for worse.
Yeah, and so that's why for over 14 years now, every night, I very rarely miss, but every now and then I do. But for the most part, every night I answer everyone's comments back. Yep. And I've been doing that because, they put up the time to put out the comments. I'm going to put out the time to answer them, And so we've been able to build, a reliance kind of relationship, you know what I mean, for many, many years. And I have people with me well over a decade. Yeah. And they've told me that and things like that. So it's a testament to telling the truth, and it's a testament to never giving up. And so you have that, I have that, and there's a few others that do as well. And so keep fighting, man, to another 20 or more, right?
Amen. So I'm gonna publicly call you out right now. So when I do set up, probably like the middle-ish of July, I'm gonna do a whole week of episodes. That is my intent, and I'm gonna probably bring on some guests, everything else. But I'm hoping that you'll come on.
Of course.
A couple of special things.
Sure. Do it. You can even do a panel thing too.
Yeah, I would love that.
A whole bunch of us. Yeah.
Yeah, even if we want to invite your crew, maybe.
Yeah, we could bring some of those folks too if they want to go. Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
I would love that.
You're in contact with Marlene, right? My assistant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get some of the stuff out to her, and I'll get it out to her as well, and we'll make it happen. Sure, absolutely.
That'd be outstanding.
Because your audience, my audience, everyone involved, all patriots, all ready to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. I mean, this is such a huge milestone. It's just incredible. And, when they say that most societies only last about 250 years, well, we're already at that right now. I mean, other dynasties have lasted a lot longer than that. And if we can control the left in this country, then we'll have at least another 250 plus. Mm-hmm. So it's a big, big deal, and everyone should be celebrating together.
And again, I have no idea what I was seeing in the comments there. I always make the mistake of looking at the comments sometimes at the wrong time. But, I have no idea what's going on. But it as we were doing our show Tuesday night, I guess, 10% of the voting class and the Democrats were busy electing or just giving away, more seats to radical, Muslim extremists that hate America, DSA, as we talked about, right? As you called out appropriately. So
I called that out in April of 2025.
Yep.
That's how early. I was the only one in the media that I know of talking about designating the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, as a terrorist organization, just like Antifa, just like Hamas, Hezbollah, anyone else, because they are that dangerous. And they dress up in suits and ties, and they wear dresses, and they pretend to be moderate, and they're using the Democrats. There was one of them just admitted it tonight. on the news saying, yeah, we're not Democrats. We're far to the left of Democrats. We just use that party to get elected. They literally said that.
Well, of
And
course.
this is a party, again, as I said already, that on their official platform, not bullshit, their official platform, it said that they wanted to eliminate the presidency position of the United States. They wanted to eliminate the U.S. Senate. They wanted to eliminate the Supreme Court. They wanted to change the Constitution. And then they wanted to create some type of board of governors or a politburo like they do in communist countries that would then control the entire country. They have said that publicly and put it in writing in their state platform in New York, where they're headquartered. So people need to understand, when I said in April of 2025 during the primaries that President Trump needs to designate the Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, as a terrorist organization, I wasn't full of shit. I wasn't being alarming. I was being truthful because I saw who's behind them. And if President Trump does this, now Bessent can get all over them and talk about, you know, going through everything that they're getting as far as funding, their mechanisms, their terrorist ties internationally and everything else. And now you don't have any more of these fucking stupid candidates running around getting elected or even becoming, you know, primary candidates and winning their primaries before they even get elected, because they would be done for, because they would take them down like they just did to the 12 or however many, 15, I think it was, Antifa scumbags in North Texas that are looking at a total of 450 years in prison. Designate the DSA, the same thing you did Antifa, and guess what? We don't have these commies running for office anymore.
Yep. I think it's, you know, I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was at a place, I won't name the place, in Cleveland, downtown, and really nice person runs this building, and it's kind of like a community center for artists, for everything else, and he has these rooms and places that he rents out. Needless to say, the main room was rented that night by the DSA, and I heard them come in, and first off, seeing them was hilarious. You could imagine, okay? These weren't the suit and tie wearing ones. These were just your, like, I don't know what gender I am.
I'm talking about the Mandanis. I'm talking about those.
Yeah.
Those
but they had their one leader.
Satan dressed up in a three-piece, basically.
Yeah. Well, their one leader came dressed up in a sweater with a big, you know, the big turtleneck and the man bun and everything else. And I listened for just a few minutes of him talking to these people. They're talking now, the people that were there, they're talking about art. They're talking about the patriarchy being bad. They're talking about all these other things. And the ringleader, if you will, is saying, no. What we have to focus on is the destruction of the system of governance that we have in this country. And somebody said, well, I'm more focused on this. No, what we have to focus on, it's like, and then they're all just shaking their heads like a bunch of lemons, you know, and they just go along with what they're being told by their handler. But to see this crew, I mean, this is something, even the beastly looking ones, the elephants, you know, live and in person with the hairy legs and all. I mean, like, you know, it's just, you look at them and you laugh. But the sad part is, and I want these people to be, I want them to face the repercussions as well for even supporting an organization like that. Even if they're too dumb, I don't feel any sympathy for them because they have not a patriotic bone in their body. You and I both know, though I can't understand it personally, but it's kind of how I feel about the Republican Party. I'm a Republican because I know what the Republican Party is, what it was built for, what its true meaning and the intent behind it. Probably more so than most elected Republicans. Okay, I digress. There are people out there that are Democrats that love this country, that actually they still believe in the old Democratic values. I don't personally understand that because the Democrat Party has always been evil since its inception, as far as I'm concerned. You have a donkey for a reason. But nevertheless, there are those blue dogs out there that voted for President Trump that still believe the lies that they were told like in the 50s and 60s about how the Democrats are. I guess a JFK style Republican, Democrat, if you will.
If JFK was alive today, he'd be to the right of Ted Cruz.
Oh God, yes.
You know what I mean? Like he would have been a very much considered a very conservative person.
Yes.
That's how far left these idiots have gotten.
Yes, and that's the thing. So I don't feel any shred of sympathy for these people who are roped into this idea of what non-governance, this idea of anarchy, this idea of what's it called, the Pulitzer, not the Pulitzer, the Politburo,
Politburo, yeah.
Yeah, in China, thinking that's a good thing. But then again, as they hail democracy, well, democracy is basically your gateway to communism. You know, we tell people constantly, remind them that, well, we have to protect our democracy. That's good. What democracy do you speak of?
Yeah,
If you don't
exactly. What democracy?
You know, but again, you have to remind them. But I want these people, I want the funders, I want the financiers, I want the people behind it who know exactly what they're doing.
Exactly. And that's why if you designate them, now you can open up the books. Now you have more tools. You can get into their funding. You can get into their affiliations. You can get into everything and then start charging them.
Yes.
So you're not a political candidate anymore. You're now, a convicted felon because you're involved in getting funding by terrorist organizations. And now you're a terrorist organization. See, one of the smartest things people don't understand, one of the smartest executive orders President Trump issued was in the very, very beginning, within like the first day or 2 days or whatever it was, when he designated those 11 organizations, those drug cartels, as international terrorist organizations. Once he did that and then added Antifa a little bit later, now all of a sudden you're not being treated like just a regular organization or a regular individual. Now you're part of something that the federal government can really come down on hard. Mm-hmm. And look, we don't like the heavy hand of government, but if it's going to stop communists, then that's what needs to be done so we can restore law and order. But there's something else that's going on right now. You know who Dr. Carol Lieberman is?
I do.
Okay. Very famous psychiatrist, right? Female psychiatrist, been around a long time. She's conservative as far as we know. I actually think AJ might even rep her. So if I want to interview her, maybe I'll reach out to him. But anyway, so she's now working right now with the Health and Human Services and of course RFK Jr. to designate and identify Trump derangement syndrome as an actual medical diagnosis recognized by all the major American affiliations and hospital affiliations and medical affiliations throughout the world and country, and actually have 3 different categories of mild, moderate, and severe. So if they do this I think is a great thing.
So do I.
You could throw obviously some extra money on it. You can get them treatment as to why they feel this way, instead of just letting them, just stew in their own heads and become freaks and murderers. This way we can actually work with some of them, not all of them. The rest of them, the severe ones that can't function, they need to be locked up in a mental institution, fed full of, Thorazine, so they're antipsychotic, and locked away so no one never sees them ever again. That's what they need, okay? But the other ones that are redeemable in any sense and can actually, benefit from education and maybe some treatment or psychological treatment, I think it's a good thing. I think it could lower, the TDS that's going to be out there. So, and we might even be able to keep them from voting. If you have severe TDS, sorry, you can't vote. You're too fucking crazy.
I like that, it. Actually, I like it. I'm a supporter of that, but it's kind of funny. I can see from meme to reality. The many commercials that Dilly made for suffering from TDS, I can now see the pharma ads all over the television. All right,
probably.
And the treatment for it may cause excessive bowel movements, heart palpitations or whatever the hell, or what are some of these side effects? Heart palpitations, heart attacks, death.
Yeah. You'll be bleeding from both eyes for the rest of your life, but other than that, you'll be perfectly fine.
Great. I love the ones when they do the antidepressants, but may cause suicidal ideation or death. But
you're depressed, so you want to kill yourself. Yes. So you take a drug that makes you depressed, so you want to kill yourself.
Yes. It's
crazy.
30-second of ad, and then it's a minute and a half of side effects. I think
or brilliant. Just a loud explosion, like boom.
Yes.
And then a bloom, and then the screen is just black.
That's it.
There's your side effect.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Exactly.
Honestly, it's just so freaking crazy to me. But I think the commercials will be brilliant. I hope we have somebody creative. They should hire the Daily Meme team to do the commercials.
They probably would.
I would hope so.
They probably would.
it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Wait a minute, because I said it. Please indulge me for just 10 seconds.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Bill Gates' advice on how to combat mistrust in science at 60minutesovertime.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You really need to get vaccinated.
You know, COVID vaccines are now available for children 5 years and older. And the more people who get them, the better we're going to be able to help stop the spread of COVID.
Damn. Those people that pushed it, they should all be in jail. They should not have gotten I didn't know. It's ridiculous.
No.
But
I honestly,
that's a good intro there.
I throw that in there sometimes after the song or before
it
the song.
reminds me of the one that I used to have in around that time, where I had a very similar one where people were dropping dead basically, and it was like, I don't know, I had music to it and all that, so it reminds me of the same one. It's interesting, you've used the fire on the microphone right before, and for a long time, and so did I. It's interesting. We both have kind of had the same type of attitude towards everything. Like, we're going to tell the truth. We're going to drop it in your fucking head, and we don't care, what it does to you. Whether it kills you or not, here comes the truth.
Damn
straight. And that's how you have to be.
That's the only way to be, and we've been doing it long before it was ever cool. Not that I don't think we were ever cool, but we're just real, and that's what, and again, it was really when they started like really shutting me down again. And I'm like, well, they're banning you because you're saying COVID. I'm like, really? You can't ban me anymore. You possibly, there's nothing left to ban. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to step it up even harder. And I just kept going and going and going and going, It's what you do. It's what you have to do. And as far as I'm concerned, like you were saying, with regards to these people being prosecuted, we need to have Nuremberg 2.0. And until that happens, and these people are lined up and executed for what they knowingly did to populations, not just in this country, but all across the world, that includes scumbag former governors in New York and everybody in between, knowingly doing what you did, you are complicit to the death and just heinous actions. All right. And they deserve to die. And I mean, I literally said, and I read the Nuremberg Code and they violated every single tenet of never again. They violated everything.
Yeah. And you can't hide behind where we were just doing our job.
No,
because you have to have a conscience. You have to have the ability to know right from wrong. Right. So obviously that's exactly what we need. But there's a movie out, and again, I don't ever support Hollywood in any way, but it's a movie with someone who was ostracized from Hollywood. So I definitely support the fact that they're trying to take his job for, doing whatever. But it's called Citizen Vigilante, I think. And it just came out a few days ago. It is literally banned in Germany. And it's being refused any type of, operation, production, whatever, in the UK completely. Why? Because it's a direct threat to the globalists. Because it's about a guy. It's about a guy. Maybe you can find the trailer for it. It's about a guy who basically says, "I'm done with the illegal alien crime. I'm done with these left-wing radical extreme judges that throw these people, out back on the street all the time, and then they go around and killing more and more people." And it's about him being a vigilante and hunting all of them down. So
really?
It's yes.
Is this in theaters?
In very limited supply.
Of course.
So check it out. It's for free, believe it or not, on X, the full movie. And I'm going to drop it for this weekend, one of my days, I think, for Saturday night. I'll do the 3 segments for this show for Friday night. Hour of Rage, and then I do Saturday. I'll drop the entire movie so everybody can see it. But it's basically this one guy who is like, I'm done with all the crime. I'm done with being treated like a second-class citizen in my own country. I'm done with the special favors and treatment for the Muslims and for the illegal immigrants. And he just goes out and takes care of business on his own. It's kind of like, like a renegade kind of. What was that guy in the 80s? You were really, you might even not have been born. What was it Bernard Goetz? Do you remember him?
Oh yeah,
in the 80s. You must have been a little kid. Anyway, he was a vigilante. He went out there and started. I think wasn't he shooting prostitutes or something?
Yes.
Trying to clean up New York.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd have a hell of a time doing it now. You need a fucking bazooka to clean up New York now.
I know.
But anyway, so this movie. Okay, here you have the trailer.
I got it. I got to play this.
This is badass, man. I can't wait to see this.
I can't believe I didn't hear of it. So
I heard about it just today.
Wow. All right, here we go.
The truth is this. You are all being used.
The vigilante citizen is delivering a brand of justice that some believe the authorities have failed to provide, targeting both criminals and those in power accused of allowing crime to flourish unchecked.
There's been a lot said about me, so I thought you should hear directly from me. I'm here to help you take that control back.
The state, court, police. See, you think that they've failed you, but they haven't. No, they only exist to control you.
Do you want justice?
Yes.
Let's get some fresh blood. You walk down the street and you get stabbed or robbed.
He's a real hero.
We need more guys like this.
What does your country do? Nothing.
Our current system is failing to protect our citizens.
He's like the real deal.
He's playing with us.
What if everything they ever taught you was utter nonsense? We can change history.
That's great.
Hell yeah! Finally, right?
Lee Bowl made the movie. Of course he did. He made Assault on Wall Street, which is one of the best movies I've ever seen, but nobody knows about.
I haven't even seen that one.
Oh, it's great.
I'm gonna have to see it. So I did some research on this Yu Boll, B-O-L-L, right? The German director, and he's done. I guess he's castigated in Hollywood, right? Even though he's worked with some big, players and things like that. But he said this is his most controversial film yet. And I just love the fact that they're doing something like this. I mean, we had to sit through the hunting movies, right? Where they were hunting MAGA. Yes. Remember about a year ago or 2 years, 3 years ago, whatever it was. And so now it's our turn. And so I think it's interesting that he made this movie, especially in today's time. As a matter of fact, he referenced the Belfast attack from last week in the article that I was reading about it. So so Saturday night I'll make it free so anyone can watch it, but I'll have it up on my Substack at jbushow.substack.com.
Oh man, I gotta look and see if they. I would love it if it was actually in a theater somewhere around here, and it wouldn't surprise me.
I think it is. Yeah.
If it is,
but it's in limited.
I would go pay to see that just to support him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still might do that too.
Yeah,
I might go out and do that anyway, just to support him and the fact that he's bold enough to take on Hollywood and tell the truth. But the globalists are freaking out right now. It's banned in Germany. It's banned, not necessarily banned in the UK, but it's not in distribution really at all in the UK because they say it's anti-migrant and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he just has enough. And look, a lot of times, art. That life can imitate art. That's all I'm saying. That someone will watch that, and who knows what can happen from there.
The Bruce Willis
I'm not
remake,
pushing it or supporting it. I'm just saying it could happen.
Yeah, and the Bruce Willis remake that he starred in of Death Wish was another great one, and a lot of that. And that, of course, I still love V for Vendetta. I thought that was very well done. and that obviously spawned a whole different type of thing. And they got a lot of criticism for that one, but it's I can't believe I never heard of that one. So thank you. Good looking out for that one.
Yeah. I just heard about it today. I was like, holy cow.
That's great. So right now, Citizen Vigilante, you got to see it because that trailer was freaking great. And I was happy to hear a scary movie crested over $230 million now. Disclosure Day, which I don't ever want to root on a Steven Spielberg movie, but it's doing really good, and I'm happy to see it. So, you know what? And that's your mainstream stuff. All right, not to scare movie folks, and not even because he's usually chastised for everything, which that's why I like a lot of his movies. But you're seeing more and more stuff break through, and I love it because this is where part of taking back this country is taking back what they made ugly, what they demonized.
The culture, exactly.
Culture, art, music, movies. I mean,
Breitbart was right, man. Andrew was right when he said that culture is just down the street from politics. He's absolutely right.
And they targeted it
downstream. I think from
downstream. They targeted it on purpose. They did this. It was all by design. Everything has been it's kind of like a two-pronged thing, right? And I suggest, and I don't know if that's the right word, but I say transhumanism, which people are now people are saying this term more regularly, which is about time. I thought we're all crazy. No, transhumanism, how they sold it to you. They sold it to you through the trans agenda, okay? Same difference.
Remember I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. And
it's the prelude to it.
We had a discussion about this, right? So then also you have to kill the nuclear family. So we have to do everything we can to separate. And then obviously, unfortunately, they use African Americans as, which I call them Americans, as the perfect, class of people that we're going to test this on them. And then we're going to let it read into what it is. So now fatherless homes, motherless homes, I have 75 baby daddies and everything else. It's all wonderful. They make it sensationalized. It's kind of like we said on the show before as well, putting models out there that are 350 pounds in bikinis. Oh, it's beautiful. And the biggest bastardization they've ever done. And Hollis is uber passionate about this one, rightfully so, but they have targeted art. They have targeted music. They've targeted books, children's books. They've targeted everything. Hollywood has always been what it is, but they have just...
Or they make desecration art, right? They piss on a Bible.
Oh yeah,
something like that, sick stuff,
That's beautiful. That's what real art is. It's expression now. It's freedom of expression. They say no. It's done with the agenda, the intent to bastardize everything this country was founded on. Because whether people like it or not, we are a Christian nation. We are built on Judeo-Christian values.
Absolutely.
It's one nation under not Allah, not Buddha, not one nation under God. Whether you like it or not, no matter what you do, it's never going to leave. And if you try to remove that in the future, you're going to get Citizen Vigilante times 3-4 billion. Okay, and maybe that's what this world needs.
Yeah.
But there has to be a take back. So that's why I'm proud. Super Troopers 3 is coming out, which again, I enjoy those movies because I find them comical, but Super Troopers 3 is coming out in August, and it is hardcore attacking the woke and attacking all that crap. That's why I support the scary movies. That's why, again, even Disclosure Day, again, I'm not a Spielberg fan, but good on them. They're starting to take it back in little ways. They're starting to do and even music. Now the biggest thing is, you have somebody like, again, I can use it as an example, my wife, who writes music, can play all the instruments, sings the songs, puts it all together, creates an album. But now you can just go type in a prompt in a website, and AI will create a song for you in a millisecond.
I know. It's
right?
Crazy.
And people glorify this. No, because they don't want human talent creation, because art, whether in music, even if I don't think Bob Dylan's great and listen to his old crap or whatever, but I think even Bob Dylan, if he had half a brain, would be a conservative. But still, even if we don't agree necessarily with the politics of it, there used to be messages. They used to be able to express themselves through art.
And that was the thing. It's like, for instance, one of my favorite radio stations plays 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I think early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's like you listen to some of the lyrics of some of the songs back in the day, Like,
Absolutely.
for instance, Madonna's Papa Don't Preach. That's, from what I can tell, a pretty pro-life song. I'm keeping my baby.
Yes.
You know, like, you couldn't sing that now. And
Yes.
it's like there was always like a positive message in a lot of the music. You know, they knew what a woman was, obviously, you know, under the boardwalk where we were having some fun. You know, like, it was innocent, it was playful, and it didn't have an agenda. You know what I mean? And now it's like everything has an agenda, especially in music. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness, look at how crazy the halftime Super Bowl was with that fruitcake, you know, singing about all kinds of nasty shit. It's like,
disgusting.
you know, back then it was more like, oh, let me count the ways I love her, right?
Yes.
And now it's like, we don't even know what she is.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous.
And honestly, it's funny because a little bit of insight to people. Hollis and I have it on like a 1 right now. I have the evil Alexa here. Don't. And I call that my CIA. I might as well embrace the CIA spy machine. But, you know, nevertheless, we play 60s music 24/7. Like, literally, we have 60s music playing all the time. Sometimes some 70s, but it's mostly music from the 60s. They love it. You know what? And I'm a metalhead. But, you know, Metallica is my favorite band. And my favorite song of all time is Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Go figure. But 60s music, I have such a passion. Just music with a message of joy, of love, of hurt, of this. Like, I hear BB King come on. I got to play guitar with BB King. It was such an honor. The FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Dad, for taking me. Me and my buddy, we had a band at the time. I was like 17 years old. We sit outside. It was cold as hell, below zero. And BB King, after we watched his show, some guy came out and goes, "What are you boys doing?" I said, "We're waiting to meet Mr. King." He goes, "You only ones out here." He's like, "Come inside." And we got to actually hold Lucille.
Wow, that's cool,
play
man.
Lucille. One of the coolest guys ever. But you hear that, the message, right? The passion behind what they did. And it's just like, you compare it to now, and that's part of taking back this country, is taking back art, taking back, culture, you know, creativity, just culture. Yes, this is our culture segment, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the culture segment.
Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. I mean, we've gone so far away from normalcy in everything. You know, I found this video today. I was on the treadmill because it's like 109 degrees out here and we can't go outside right now. So I'm on the treadmill and I'm flipping through some videos, and all of a sudden a video pops up and it says what kids were like in the 1970s. And so I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool. I'm pretty close, right? 80s kid. So I'm watching it, and it wasn't really necessarily about what they did. It was more about what they learned. It was more about being sufficient and proficient and, you know, conflict resolution. You know, you couldn't just block somebody back in the day. You had to figure out a way to become friends. You know, your parents knew they had an idea of where you were, but they didn't really know where you were at every moment, and it was okay. You learned self-sufficiency. You saw a tree. If you're going to climb the tree, well, you might want to do it pretty careful in case those branches break, right? If you fall down and you get hurt, now all of a sudden you've learned consequences, right? So it was a really interesting video. I'm actually going to drop it as a segment probably sometime next week because it was so amazing. It was a really cool thing. And it wasn't necessarily what they did and the activities they did, but it was the teaching and the fundamentals that they learned from doing those things. And that's what's missing in the Gen Z and even some of the millennial generations. They're so dependent on, everything having to do with electronics. And so they've lost that ability, even from brain function wise. They even said there were studies that the brains are smaller, slightly smaller in the younger generations than they are in the older generations, because the older generations had to use it.
Yes.
You know, they had a Dewey Decimal System, and they had to track down the books for the book report.
Yes.
You know, it's not just clicking what's this book about and having something write it for you. So there's a lot of detriments to obviously the technology as far as our brains, because we're not using our brains as much.
It's amazing when you think about it, you know, when you really look at it. And again, I guess I'm a 90s kid, right? Technically, because born in the 80s, but, you know, raised throughout the 90s.
Yeah, I was born in 75, so I consider myself an 80s kid because,
Exactly.
85, I'm 10. That's when you're kind of growing up. So
yeah. And, you know, it's night and day, because even then, it's like I never once looked at anybody and said, oh, that's the gay guy, that's the black one, that's it. Nobody cared.
Right.
It was still, they were working hard to try to get us to that point of we gotta have to divide you by everything in the world, but it was post segregation. So you're in this middle, this sweet spot where, well, people are getting along too much. We can't have that. And yes, our high school had a computer lab, but we didn't go to computers. I remember elementary school going to CCD. We'd leave school, go to the church, and go to CCD.
What does it stand for?
I don't even remember at this point. It was like it was Catholic school, like a not Catholic school. I was in a public school, but we would leave and we go to the church and we have religious training essentially for Catholicism, right? I honestly, God, I can't remember what CCD stands for, but we would have that. Like we would actually leave during the day and go do, and we would learn things about health, anatomy. We would learn the big push, the Boy Scout stuff and everything else. Not always my most favorite thing, but you learn things about survival.
Right, exactly.
We didn't have this full force bastardization yet of what they perverted it into. So
and the younger generations don't have survival skills.
No,
at all.
No.
And that's terrifying, especially if we're in a situation where we're in wars in the future and these young kids have been coddled their whole lives, and then they go into the military and they can't hack it. You know what I mean? I mean, some of it can be beaten out of you, I guess, and some of it can be trained and taught. But if you're always have been a victim of everything and been coddled your whole life and given participation trophies and all that shit, it's going to be tough. That's the difference with the older generations. They're tougher mentally.
Yes. Every time I lost, or like even when I was on baseball or something, we lost. It's not like, you did great, guys. No, you sucked. Play better next time. We're going to practice twice as hard. We're going to smoke and gas the hell out of you. It's called you winners.
Yeah. Now it's ice cream, pizza.
Yeah.
You're a winner in my heart. Here's your participation trophy. Now go jerk off in your room.
Exactly.
Like, back in the old days, it was, you struck out 3 times. You get them next time.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no coddling. There's no holding. You're the greatest. No, none of that.
No.
And children learned.
Exactly. You know what?
They practiced harder.
That's what you need. And I just, it's such basic things. And
exactly.
Hollis on her show is doing something called the recreation movement. And it's about like recreating what was. It's a very she's done a masterful job, and she's weaving things into this whole series of shows and breakdowns. It's all about it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's about surviving in this age, but doing the things that work that they've worked so hard to get you away from, recreating what has worked. Bringing back things, and I love the concept of it. I love what she's talking about, because I think that is what we need. It doesn't have to be political. We need people like that pushing things like that, because any way you can infuse a little sense of realism and just social maturity and just a little bit of self-preservation into this society, it's a win. We need these things. It boggles the mind how weak we are, and what we've become. And again, we don't need to fear a nuclear weapon, because honestly, an EMP would be worse than a million Hiroshimas. An EMP.
Yeah. It's funny. I talked about that on Full Throttle tonight. Yeah. We've got to protect our grid. I mean,
because let's face it, you and I would be fine if an EMP hit, because we know how to survive. But the majority of the world, they will either kill themselves or die, have heart attacks, because I can't use my phone, I can't use my computer, I can't use my AI, I can't play my video games. They wouldn't know how to survive. We were the last generations of that. And again, me, I was right on that cusp, right? But still, I knew what it was. I'm going to go play outside. I'm going to go ride the bike and fall on my ass because I sucked at riding a bike because of inner ear problems. Thank you, not because I'm dumb. But literally, these were things that we did. We would survive it, but these other generations, they're done, dude. An EMP would destroy this nation.
I bet you that the Gen Z generation, just on average, and again, I have no document to prove this at all, but I would say either 50% or less actually know how to ride a bicycle.
Oh God, I would
50% or less.
I'd say 20%. That was the other thing I was talking about with somebody at work the other day. He said his son, he's 55 years old, retired Master Chief of the Navy. This dude's seen some shit, right? Really good dude. I always make fun of him. Like, you get up in the morning, you go run 36 miles, come back home, and then you start your day, you know? But he said his 12-year-old son he's going to make a case for why he needs an electric bicycle. I said, what? He goes, yes. I said, so they even took away pedaling? Like, my God. And even the motorized scooters, like, you used to push with your foot, right? No.
It's all digital and electric and everything else. People are lazier. You're probably having more health issues because you're not moving as much. It's just bad. And then, you put in the robotics and everything else.
Yep.
Who knows what the future is going to be like?
Dude, it's crazy. Joe just said in the chat room they had typing classes. So did I. I had a typewriter growing up, not a computer, a typewriter. I got my first computer in 2003. I graduated in 2001. I'm proud of that. I love when I got an.
I graduated in 1993 from high school, but I remember computer science class where we had to learn like ASDF, JKL, semicolon, where you'd put your fingers on, and so you had to type without looking, and they would test you. But then we would do programs back then. It was like, 10 go to 20, 20 go to 30, RUN. And then you'd hit like run, and it would be like, I don't know, like hearts all over the screen or something. And we were like, wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like that was the most primitive of times of computers, and now forget it. I mean,
oh God, man, that's why people talk about being gamers and shit. Like I had a PS3, and SmackDown versus Raw 2011 was the last game I ever actually played on any system. But I'm still like, yo, I miss my Atari. Like, I don't care what you people say. That was more fun.
Yeah, I played video games when I was much younger too.
Yes.
But
blowing them.
I also went out and played too.
Yes.
I also rode bikes and motorcycles and skateboards and did normal shit.
It was like it was like we would come home after spending the day out with friends, and then we could play video games for a little while, or it's raining too heavy or it's snowing too much. After we get done playing in said rain or said snow, let's go play our Super Nintendo. It's like it's just so freaking crazy, man. And that anyway,
that's the thing. There's a whole generation that has lived in their room, or have had virtual friendships, other than the ones at school.
Well,
I mean, it's crazy.
You probably didn't see it, but I used to laugh at these things called gigapets. They would like these little, they look like watches, and it was like you're hatching your little turtle. You press one of the two.
Yeah, I think I remember those.
Yeah,
you remember swatches?
Yes, I do.
I had a bunch of those when I was a kid.
What about the slap bracelet things? Remember that?
Oh yeah. You pull the thing and it would go wrap around your arm.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember those too.
I'm telling you, we've said this once before.
Yeah, we were doing nostalgia hour.
Yeah, we need to do a whole culture thing. We got to make it into a whole brand. I'm telling you, because and then always parlay it into the weakness and the
bring it back to present day.
Yes,
exactly.
It would be fun.
Who was amazing at doing that was Barry Farber. May rest in peace. He was so good at talking about a historical event from like the 60s and 50s or whatever, and then somehow weaving it all the way up to present day and picking a problem that we have now and comparing it to what it was in the it was like just amazing. It was so amazing. Incredible doing his show for, I don't know, 300 times probably. And he knew 25 languages. I mean, he was just a really smart dude.
No, he's a legend of the greats, Paul Harvey.
He's number 10 in U.S. history. Of the top 10, he's number 10.
Yeah.
And of all time. And it's interesting because Sean Hannity, or Sean Vanity as I like to call him, who I can't stand, he counts Barry Farber as his as his mentor. But when Barry passed away, and I heard from his daughter Cecilia and the other ones, and they set up an industry like call basically, and it had all the big heads of the radio stations and program directors and longtime hosts and all that, and so it was like all of us together on this Zoom call, but who doesn't show up? Sean Vanity doesn't show up. Imagine that. His quote mentor doesn't show up, and instead phones it in with a video. So that's never sat right with me, especially when you've gone out publicly and said you wouldn't be in radio if it wasn't for this guy but then you can't clear your schedule to join an industry insider's Zoom call.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Absolute piece of shit. Always. And always is the fake is the fake. These fluffed up TV types. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's like Hannity, he goes with the wind. Oh, Mark.
Just like Savage called him, Sean Vanity.
Yes.
That fits.
And again, I still want to show respect to Savage, but sometimes he pisses me off. But
Michael Weiner.
Yes.
It's his real name.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny.
He's a smart guy, though. I mean, he may be an old crotchety dude right now.
Yeah.
But like in his younger days, I mean, he's always been really, really intelligent.
He was great.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy that will talk about any topic.
Yep.
Whether he's talking about chrome bumpers in the 50s or doo-wop or, epidemiology in the Fiji Islands or what's going on in politics. Just brilliant. He was just he's still around, but he's just brilliant. He's always been really smart. I did his show once.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year it was. And I only had like an 8-minute segment. And he wanted to talk about the dwindling of Christianity in Central America. So I had to do some quick research and find out. And so it's the only time I ever did his show.
I did Savage's show, and I had a 3.5-minute segment. Actually, it was in 2000.
You know what happened with him, right? He had a show on MSNBC for like a day, maybe two. And the first show that he's on, he's answering people's calls and this and that. And you know how he always was. He didn't. If you said, "Hey, how you doing?" He would. You don't need to know how I'm doing. Click next caller, right? He was just always abrasive, basically. And so this one guy calls up, and he's like, "Michael Savage, you're on the air. What's the topic, please?" Like he always does. And the guy's like, "Michael," like all gay and shit. And so Savage goes, whatever his name was, like Kenny or whatever, and makes fun of him back. And he's like, "What do you want? What do you want from me?" And so he starts talking, and he's got a really high-pitched gay voice. So he immediately cuts him off and says, "Do me a favor, call me back when you have a man's voice." Click. So about a minute later, he's making fun of the guy and everything else. He calls back again, and the same guy calls back, and he's got his high-pitched gay voice, and he's yelling and cursing at him. And so Savage, there's a tape of it somewhere on the internet, I'm sure. He basically says, "I don't need to talk to you. Go get AIDS and die, you pig." Click. And that was his last show on MSNBC.
That's great.
So yes, the great Michael Savage had a one show career on television.
That's hilarious. And MSNBC actually, surprisingly, when I was young,
they didn't know what they were dealing with Michael Savage.
Well, no.
He was, he was something else.
I was surprised Imus was on for as long as he was.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because
some of the things that he would say, absolutely.
Yeah, I actually liked it.
Yeah.
Of course, I was told to hate him because I thought Howard Stern was cool when I was a kid, young and dumb.
Well, Howard Stern was awesome for many, many years,
Back
and then he went woke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah.
So I call him the queen of all media now.
Yeah.
But like it was fun, and I remember, it was like where I lived in Pennsylvania, I had to take my little karaoke machine that had the radio and like turn it upside down and put it on a 360 degree at like some kind of angle. Like I could pick up 92.3 K-Rock. I could hear Howard Stern. Like his wife left him, and we got to tune in and see what he's gonna say. It's like it was actually fun back in the day. And then he changed.
You remember what else was back there? I haven't been in Jersey in 30 years. So you had 92.3 K-Rock. You had 95.5 WPLJ, I think.
Yep. WPLJ.
100.7
Z100.
Z100,
yeah.
The Morning Zoo, yeah.
Yeah, the Morning Zoo, yeah.
I mean, that has to be like well over 30 years ago. I don't know why I remember that stuff. But when you grow up in that area, you have remember it all.
And 10
That's so
wins.
funny. 10 wins. You give us 10 minutes, and we'll give you the news.
Yes.
I remember that too. Yeah, 10 wins.
Yes.
People on the East Coast that are older are going to be like, "Yeah, I remember that." That are listening to this. The youngsters are like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah, they're old. Some of the greatest times I ever had. It was so funny. And it was weird. Like we'd stop at like a dairy deli or whatever. It was like right in Sparta, New Jersey. So
man, that's out near Vernon Valley, right? Great Gorge, where the Action Park was.
Yes. Oh,
you know that one movie. Well, they used to call it Fraction Park for a reason.
Yeah.
right? Remember they had the big Tarzan swing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so many people got like, their backs broken, their legs shattered on that thing. And so that park in particular was like shut down because of all the injuries. Someone died in the wave pool. There was like an electrocution.
It was
and
great.
so Johnny Knoxville, I don't know, maybe 2018, something like that. He does like this off the wall movie, and it's called something Park, but not Action Park, right? But it's about him running this amusement park in this rural area. They don't say it's New Jersey, but obviously it was based off of that. And all these people get injured. It's like a Johnny Knoxville movie. So everyone's doing stupid stunts and, getting in trouble and all this other stuff. But I'm telling you, that was based off of Action Park.
That's so
in Alpine, in Sparta.
That is so crazy. And I loved it. Literally, like I would buy the loaves of bread with the coupons for like, Coney Island, Six Flags, Dorney, whatever it may be. They had the coupons attached to the loaves of bread. But some of the greatest memories I have was when it wasn't all the time, but sometimes my dad would take me to work with him, and he would work in Hackensack, New Jersey, or around those ways, right? He was my father he's brilliant, but he did heavy, like he was a mechanic. He could tear apart anything, rebuild anything. The guy's a genius, right? On so many different things. But I would go with him when I was a kid, in the morning stop and get the bagel, I would get Jolts.
Bagel and cream cheese with lox.
Yeah, no lox, but
I love lox. Are you kidding me? Smoked salmon? You got to have an everything bagel with red onion, cream cheese, and smoked salmon.
I never had it.
That's the Jewish tradition right there.
I would try it now. Okay, I would try it now. Then it was like, no, bagel cream cheese or a buttered roll. If Kaiser,
buttered roll. I'm sorry, that's gay.
Listen, it's bisexual at best. Okay, so
okay, all right, fair enough.
Listen, I only got that when I couldn't get the bagels. All right, thank you. But my father would let me get the old school Jolt in the plastic bottle.
I remember that. Yeah.
Jolt. You gotta love Jolt.
Yeah.
And it's like driving in
pure sugar.
Oh God, it was amazing. And
it's like drinking cotton candy. Basically.
It was fantastic. And because my father drove every day, and he'd be in New York City all the time, like back and forth. But I loved it. It was just like, it was such a vibe, such a feel.
That's a nice place. If you grew up near Sparta, I mean, my God,
we weren't
beautiful
far.
Out there. That's out way past Route 24, 287, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And
nice. My brother lives out in Warren.
Oh, okay.
Off of 287, so yeah. I know the area again.
Yeah, know it well.
Yeah, I grew up, off of Route 22 in Union County, so I know the area pretty well.
We would cross the Dingling Bridge, the Dingman's Bridge, the infamous, in our little part of the Poconos, and right there it's all like God's country up there. It's
beautiful.
Sad. It's sad.
I mean, I don't know if it's still beautiful now. Who knows? There could be Somali Muslims fucking running through the neighborhood, with axes and hatchets for all we know. But when we were there, it was high dollar, beautiful neighborhoods. So.
It was a different world, man. A whole different time.
That's for sure.
I could do this all damn day. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are we up on it? We're up on it.
Of course we are. And I don't even know how the hell that happened. Like all right.
Just conversation.
It was great. I mean,
hell yeah.
We're still making up for all the damn time.
I know. That's the thing. We missed like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
That's too much.
Yeah, my fault. But
everybody was jonesing.
I guess so. Now
lift this.
Now, all right. So I could play the G Delt thing. Should I do it?
Oh, that's right.
I had it loaded up this entire time, and I'm like, should I save it to Sunday? I don't know.
You got to remember to play it, I guess, earlier, because how much of it did you use? The whole thing.
The whole thing. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let that be the clip that we'll use basically when we start doing clips on Sunday at like 35, 40 minutes in or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Because you're gonna want to see the G-Delt thing. It's freaking awesome.
That's cool that you put the whole clip too.
Yeah.
It's got the old opening and everything.
Everything. I love it.
Nice.
So
I haven't seen that one in a while.
I'm literally staring at it. It's right there. I showed you. It's like
this has stolen our election.
Like it pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off because I enjoyed the hell of the conversation. But I'm like,
absolutely.
Where the hell did time go?
Yeah, just nostalgia, talking about all these different things. That's what's so fun about it.
I know.
That's why I love doing my Full Throttle show. I love doing this show.
Yeah.
I love doing things where we're talking to other people.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, So.
Yes.
But real quick, do we have time to talk about what happened with X?
Absolutely, I want
Okay, just
to.
real
So-
quick. So
go ahead.
out of nowhere, I just got back on X. I have no idea how. I was told it was a permanent suspension. It said this is read only, so that's it. You can't do anything else. You can't post anything. You can't share. You can't like nothing. And I tried, and it wouldn't work. So then I appealed the decision, and again, it was for something stupid I never even heard of, excessive campaigning. So whatever. So I appeal it, and of course, a day later, I get back an email saying we have taken into consideration you, your career, who you are, all that, but we're not giving you your channel back. So I just figured, all right, well, I'll just start using the backup one that I have, and that was it. And so I was checking on a video, and I clicked on it, and all of a sudden I saw that my thing was up, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. So I went to my laptop, and I just posted like an article or whatever, and sure enough, it was back up. So I don't know why it's back up. I'm not complaining. I think it's great that it's back up, but the only thing I can think of is somebody who's following me is close to the administration, and maybe they told them, plus my fans were all over social media because they were pissed that I was banned. And I think someone just got to Elon Musk or something and just did a favor. Maybe they realized that it was stupid, their reasoning, and for whatever reason, I'm back on. But who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll be back off again. So I don't even know. So it's just very, very strange. It's just out of nowhere, just boom, just back on. So
It's because of the pressure campaign that we put on, and it's.
Well, some people did. I know that. They reached out to lots of different people for me, so it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of times where I cover something, and then 4 or 5 days later, I hear it on Jesse Waters.
Mm-hmm. Oh God,
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So somebody in the administration obviously is watching. There's no question about it.
No,
so I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. Like I said, I thought I was done for, right? Just completely done. I was like, well, I gotta fucking start over all again. And sure enough, they just showed up. So anyway,
and that's a victory.
Happy about that. Yeah, it's definitely a victory.
That's a freaking beautiful thing, dude. I mean, it's rare when it happens.
It shouldn't happen, though. That's the thing.
Exactly. That's the point.
We should have real freedom of speech, and of course we don't.
Yes.
So
and so the home of free speech, not so free, but that's okay. It's a selling point, right? And it's sick, and I've often said, because it's funny when you look at the people who follow me on X. It's like people don't realize, like, yes, not only did Charlie Kirk follow me, like, we would communicate back and forth, and like, Don Jr. and like, like I could ramble off names of like people who actually follow me. I'm like, oh, cool. People are like, oh, wow. It's like, it doesn't mean anything, but it's like, you still know though that, they know who the hell we are. They know who the hell you are. They know who the hell I am. It's like, it's not some like, oh, look, I'm followed by, it's like, whatever, do the research yourself. You know what I mean? But sometimes when little things like that happen, it's a victory. So you know what? For this moment in time,
I mean, it could have been Roger Stone. I'm close with him. It could have been, I don't know how many other people. Dr. Robert Malone. There's a lot of other people, but could have been someone like Wendy Rogers. Who I know very, very well. Maybe she said something. I don't know. All I know is I surprisingly got it back after they told me I wasn't. So I'm thankful, but again, like I said, we shouldn't be in situations where we're being censored.
I know.
I thought that was going to be over in the Trump years, and it hasn't been. And I thought I'd be doing a lot better in the Trump years, and I'm not.
No.
So it is what it is.
Some things needed to be circumvented, and unfortunately, it's like they weren't going to give that up.
Yeah, I don't know where Brendan Carr is.
I know.
FCC commissioner.
Very disappointed.
He should be tracking down on all this stuff, but.
I mean, I like seeing Trump telling the DOJ to go after the oil companies and stuff. I think that's beautiful. Like, I love what he did to the Senate. I love the epic things. But full respect for the dude's busy. But it's like, Brendan, where are you, bro?
Yeah.
We need a little bit of help still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the court's been pretty good lately. And
court's been good.
Tomorrow
is
could
it
be
tomorrow?
a very big day. The end of their session is Tuesday, but I have a strong feeling that tomorrow we might hear something on birthright citizenship, mail-in ballots by election day, and no men and women's sports. They just did the TPA decision, temporary protected status. TPS,
I love it.
So he can now get rid of all the Haitians and all the fucking cat eaters and dog eaters and all that. And so there's a lot of good decisions that have been happening. Like I said, I think we're probably going to get 2 out of 3. But if we get 3 out of 3, that would be amazing too. So
I can report from Cleveland, Ohio that, I've been there many times, and unfortunately it's beautiful, but it is a shithole. But we could hear the celebration of the cats and dogs from Springfield all the way over here. It's about 3 hours away, but we can hear them partying in the streets. If I miss the decision, I'll know by the anarchy that will ensue across the country and the burning of the country if birthright citizenship is taken. That to me would be just. I'm like you. I think that'll be the one that they don't give us. But if it did, it
would be huge.
Oh my God!
Oh, it'd be huge.
I mean, I want it all.
I know. And
I'll be happy.
But yeah, we get that mail-in ballots thing, man. That's huge.
Huge.
Because that eliminates all the blue states being able to be like, well, it's a close election. Wink, wink. Yeah. Hey, we need more of those mail-in ballots. Not to mention the Postmaster General said, not gonna fly. You're not getting any mail-in ballots if you don't give up the rolls.
The Postal Union, which endorsed Biden and worked overtime to help steal it. Now, here we are these years later, and we have this change. I love it. I love it.
So keep your head up, everybody. There's some good things that are happening and coming, and just got to keep fighting. Got to defeat these DSA terrorists. Got to defeat them.
Yep.
Very, very important. So remember, low turnout elections are not good typically. Okay,
No.
Especially like in New York, where Mandani won with 11%. Okay,
And
so these people are counting on low amounts of people coming out so that they can win and put these DSA scumbags in.
The radical Muslim the other night, what was it? 10%. 10%. Like it's disgusting. But
it's crazy.
All I could say is honestly, if you want to know like the blueprint and the guidebook to actually save the country,
I have it in the other room.
See?
So, there it is.
It's right there. And the link is in the description, people.
That's
get the book. All right. Get the damn book. And get the book.
Lots of stuff in there. And again, Rage Exchange on Etsy. So if you want some pretty cool t-shirts, all kinds of interesting things that you will not find anywhere else, then check it out because there's some really cool new designs and stuff like that. And other than that, join the Substack, jbushow.substack.com. God bless you all, and we'll see you all on Sunday.
Look at that. That was a smooth exit, my friend.
Did you like that one?
That was good. That was like free flowing, just like boom, uncut out.
Well, like I said in the beginning, you're very good at voiceovers, so I guess I'm good at ending segments.
Yeah, there you go. You're the closer.
There you go, the closer.
That's awesome. Brother,
all right, man.
Appreciate you, man, as always.
God bless everybody.
God bless, bro. Talk to you soon.
Care. Bye.
Rage of Aquarius with your hosts, Dan Smeriglio and Josh Bernstein, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network. Download our apps on Android and Apple to never miss a show. Watch at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Roku TV, Fire TV, and Android TV.